And welcome back to the show. The African Diaspora International Film Festival is a film festival that's actually presenting, interpreting, and also educating about the human experience of people of color all over the world in order to inspire imagination, as well as disrupt stereotypes, and then help to transform attitudes that perpetuate injustice. Over the last couple of weeks, Open Wednesday has been great in terms of highlighting several films that have actually been participating in this year's film festival. And joining us now to share more details is the co-director and co-founder of the African Diaspora International Film Festival, Diarah N'Daw-Spech, and also director of Maya and Her Lover film, Nicole Sylvester, and director of A Brother's Mind, Déo Cardoso. And thank you all for being with us here on Open.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting us again. Well, we really appreciate the coverage.
Well, we appreciate having you. And honestly, as you talk about really the work that's going on in terms of trying to, break down some stereotypes, introduce people from an international perspective to some great filmmakers and some great films. From your perspective, how are things going?
Well, they're going great. I want to highlight the films that we're presenting today. So we have basically, I don't know if you know, but November is the month of Black culture in Brazil. And so it's the equivalent of Black History Month. And so we're presenting several films about the Black experience in Brazil, including Marighella, which is about a revolutionary leader who fought against the dictatorship in Brazil in the late 60s. And he used urban guerrilla warfare to do so. It's an amazing film. Actually, it's just being released in Brazil right now. We also have a film about Dr. Gama, that's a biography drama that tells the history of the most important abolitionist leader in Brazil. And then we have A Brother's Mind, and Déo is going to tell us more about it. This is the story of a young man who is tired of being pushed around because he's Black, and he embarks in a personal rebellion. And then in terms of women filmmakers, we have a lot of great films this year. We have, of course, we showcased Betrayal of a Nation by Brandy Webb a couple of weeks ago. We also have a film called She Had a Dream, which is from Tunisia, about a young Black Tunisian woman who is tired of racism and sexism and decides to fight back by getting into politics. And then, of course, we have Maya and Her Lover, the wonderful film by Nicole Sylvester, who is going to talk to us about it as well. So we have a great lineup of films, and we are really excited to talk about the festival again with you.
Yeah, so we got Nicole here in her movies, Maya and Her Lover. And first of all, congratulations, Nicole. And tell us a little bit about the film.
Thank you so much. So Maya and Her Lover is about a woman who is about to turn 40, and she's kind of stuck in the past. She regrets some decisions that she's made, and she has some issues with her upbringing that kind of affect her moving forward. When she meets this younger man and they begin a relationship, in the course of that relationship, which is very rocky, steamy, but also rocky, it forces her to kind of look at herself and her life and how she's living it, and then hopefully by the end of the film make changes for the better. So it's a coming of age story, I guess, for both of them, but wrapped up in a romance.
Yeah. All right. And I wanted to bring Déo in. And Déo, the opportunity to tell us a little bit about you. And you're coming to us all the way from Brazil. That's the benefit of virtual technology. So congratulations. I know it's a great time for you in Brazil. And enlighten us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, my film, A Brother's Mind, is also a coming of age film. And it's a coming of age film of a student, this kid he's the leader of a student council, and he's just reading everything he can about Black culture, So what he's really reading at the moment that the film depicts is he's reading about the Black Panthers. He knows nothing about the Black Panthers, and he's just amazed of how the Black Panthers, for example, could keep a social breakfast, free breakfast, all over the country, all over the United States without government support. So this blows his mind. He's like, whoa, we should do something here. But what happens is he's facing racism in his school. So one day, one of his colleagues calls him a monkey, and he's like, I'm not getting this anymore, man. So he's expelled from school because he like punches the guy, the offender. And the teacher sees him punching the offender, but didn't see what caused that. So he's like, I'm not moving. I'm staying here. So like moved by Rosa Parks, moved by all the civil rights movement, moved by Brazilian Black leaders and African Black leaders that I myself really admire, like Amilcar Cabral from Guinea-Bissau, Cape Verde, all those people like Marielle, which was a Black leader here. She was killed 2 years ago. And this blows his mind up, and he's like, I'm not getting this anymore. So the film is a coming of age film wrapped up in a revolutionary film, like those films from Africa, like The Battle of Algiers. I love that film. Like some Brazilian films from the 60s and 70s, like some American films from that era too, like Spike Lee and Charles Burnell, like those are the guys, like Julie Dash. Those are the people that really makes my mind and inspired me to make this film.
Yeah. And Diarah, I know that there's a great hope that, for those people who watch and those people who take part from the perspective of the filmmaker, an opportunity for exposure on the person who's watching the film, a different level of exposure. Talk about what you're hoping that people take away from from the film festival experience.
Well, I have been told that the film experience, participating in the film is really like a revealing experience. It's a way for people to be exposed to stories they don't know much about, to learn, to reflect, to feel connected to, stories that are close to them and at the same time far from them. So it's a moment of entertainment. It's a moment of discovery, a lot of discovery. And it's a moment of just being exposed to something that is not available in the media, is not available in the general mainstream. And that, it's the one-time opportunity to really explore the Black experience from a global perspective. So participating in the festival is really a way to grow. If you have an interest in developing yourself developing a Black consciousness and understanding better what it means to be a Black person in the world today and in the past.
Well, thank you all. I want to thank you guys for joining us, and ladies, I should say. I got to be gender specific these days, but I want to thank you both for sharing with us, for sharing with us as we talk about your films. Best wishes on the film, and Diarah, I know that there's an opportunity for people to be connected to the film festival, right?
Yes, through the website nyadiff.org. The information is there. Films are offered both in person and online. So everything is on the website at nyadiff.org.
All righty, and I'm going to cap that by saying you can also follow them on Facebook and Twitter at NYADIFF. Want to thank you all for joining us here on Open, and best wishes with the films as they go forward.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All righty, we are taking a quick break. Want you to stay with us. We do have some amazing guests coming up still. Open continues coming up right after this.